Yo, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Paragon guide. I am Sylphin, and in this video we are taking a beginner's look at the abilities, skills, and starter decks of Grux. So, ladies and gentlemen, first up, open up your select a deck screen and go for the starter deck fighter attack speed. He does have a starter deck tank, but we are primarily focused in this guide as being a fighter. Now make sure that you toggle off suggestions and take a look at your team composition. We have a Richter, a tank, some damage dealers, and ourselves. Nobody is going to be the harvester in this game, or jungler, excuse me, in this game, so we have to fulfill that role. We're going to go with a health potion, a harvester's key, and a scout's ward. So, ladies and gentlemen, why are we a jungler? Simply because somebody has to be in the jungles on the left and right hand side of the map and be a jungler. They have to take care of these harvesters that are right here, as you can see. And also, they need to, most importantly, gank the enemy team. So ganking means that we travel into the lanes and try to make a kill on the enemy. There, just ran the enemy Polari. So the very first ability we're going to get here to help us in these lanes is his right click. Double pain. Does 65 physical damage and applies a bleed to all nearby enemies. So right off the bat, we need to be taking down these blue camps, as you can see here in the jungle. There's one close to the middle lanes, and there's one closer to the outside lanes. We need to take care of these two camps before we can place our first harvester. The first harvester shows up at 3 minutes, and we're going to make sure that we can get that harvester right when it appears. So the next ability we're going to go for is his Q. It's a cone AoE that stuns and pulls all enemy units towards Grux, dealing 80 physical damage. It is a very, very powerful ability for Grux, enabling him to pull in enemies toward him. So obviously you can pull in enemies that are running away from you, and you can also pull in enemies that are, you know, kind of at a stalemate in a team fight and initiate with that ability. Kind of pick the enemy off right away when the team fight starts. Now that, as you saw, we stood there and we took care of that harvester, it is being planted. We're going to go shift over to the right lane here and deal with this jungle. You can see that this Gideon is all by himself here in this lane, so once our friendly team gets back over here, we're going to be able to hopefully take him out. I don't want to go in there all by myself just because there he is, and let's use our Q, but because hopefully it should be off cooldown, and I don't really imagine anything's going to be able to happen here, but it looks like we have to get away. So the ability that you saw me just use there was his E ability. It's called Charge. You charge forward 1,200 units, dealing 50 physical damage to all enemies hit. It's not that much damage at all, so it's simply a hard engage or hard disengage ability. So we're going to come back here, get this health and mana, and also when you return to base, you get back your harvester key charge. You can see that there's only one charge that you get at a time. So going back to base was actually quite useful and gave us a charge. So let's see here if I can showcase for you his pull, kind of the strength of that pull, being able to pull him right into the tower here, and it didn't quite work to get the tower to attack him as well. That is just a little showcase, ladies and gentlemen, of the power of Grux being able to make those kind of plays, especially when the enemy is running away. So simply, we're going to try to get our harvesters up as fast as possible. I wanted to take advantage of that kill there on that Murdoch, simply because that is, ladies and gentlemen, how you get ahead of the enemy team in this early game. Going into the lanes using your ganking ability with that from that Q to being able to pull enemies into towers, pulling them towards your friendly teams, and making sure that you can secure the kill. That is very, very powerful. We're going to upgrade our right click, as that's going to help us deal with these camps just a little bit more, and hopefully get us as much power as possible. So we got 6-card power, and we are going to... very first card we're going to get is the Brawler's Key. As the jungler, we're going to have to really focus on these harvesters. So having 2 keys, that's what this Brawler Key gives us, is going to enable us to put more harvesters down at a time. We're going to take this and increase our mana here with the 4-card power. So we are finally able to get his ultimate, and it is Warlord's Challenge. It's a 0.5 second AoE stun plus a bleed, and deals and gives you a 15 bonus physical damage on your basic attack called Chop for 8 seconds. It used to not be very strong whatsoever, but we're going to pull in this Twin Blast right into us, use our ultimate here, apply that bleed. We're going to stack the bleed with our right click here, and we're going to follow him right to his tower. I am not worried about that ultimate because we will be able to kill him very quickly, just like that. This Feng Mao is going to be... have to be careful here, and let's charge right into him. Make sure we do that damage so he doesn't sprint away. We're going to use our pull. Not quite able to get a nice move by him using his teleport to get away. So you have a lot of very good potential to defend the towers with your pull, pulling them into your tower and hopefully getting that kill. So we came over here. Oh, and Gideon, let's get out of his ultimate here. Oh, very close here. I'm definitely going to need help here. And let's see if this Sparrow and I can take care of him. So let's see, he's trying to... I don't want to engage too early here, but this looks like the time that we can. So here we go, and secure that kill. Being a part of these fights here in the early game, making sure that you go to the defense of your towers, making sure that you can secure kills, ladies and gentlemen, here in the early game, that is exactly how you get ahead. As a jungler, you need to make sure that you are a part of those kills in the early game. So, as you saw, we got that harvester there on the left side, and I'm going to plant my Scout's Ward here in this shadow pad. Why do I want to put it in the shadow pad? Simply because it does not go invisible when you place it on the map. By placing it in that shadow pad will enable it to actually go invisible for a time until the enemy moves there. So that will provide us vision there on the side. So let's use our bleed here, pull in this Polari, use our E to get out of here as we were low on health. So that looks like as much as we'll be able to do here on the left lane. We simply have to go back, spend these 3-card power. Next 3-card power, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to use this on this Major Strike. We're going to get a good amount of physical damage and that mana, which will be certainly nice when we are trying to really stay on the battlefield in this early game, trying to gank the enemy team and trying to get that advantage in the early game. So once more, we're coming in from behind here on this Feng Mao. Let's see if we can actually pull him into our towers. I want to just kind of bait him. Let's see. Is he the first one? No, he's not. It looks like we'll be able to finish him off. There is the gank there, coming in from behind, making sure that we secure that kill. Using the pull to the most... use it to the biggest advantage as possible, pulling into the tower and securing that kill. So I'm really trying to focus here on these harvesters. Harvesters are very late game payoff because they simply, they harvest the map, they harvest the world for card power, and will just enable you to get as much of an advantage in the mid and late game as well. So one thing you can do, ladies and gentlemen, is use your ultimate, or use your Q rather, to interrupt ultimates there, like you saw with that Gideon. I used it to pull him out of his black hole and try to kill him, but we are simply taking too much damage from Twin Blast and Gideon. With 3 more card power, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be able to get another very important card here, the Brawler's Ward. Now, Vision is highly, highly underrated, so please do not feel like this is a miss move or miss card. We really need those Shadow Wards because they are special compared to Scout's Wards. So the special thing about these Shadow Wards is you can actually place them on the map and they will actually disappear. So these Shadow Wards are only going to be able to be seen by an enemy's Shadow Wards. So they are much harder to detect. The enemy has to counter ward in order for them to destroy it. So it really enables you to get a good, reliable source of vision for the map. As a jungler, it's especially your duty as you are going through the jungle to be warding up the jungle as well. It will give your team an advantage when trying to initiate team fights that they will have vision. So here we are going to engage hard here on the back line, go in for this Gideon, use my ultimate there to stop the Twin Blast's ultimate there. It is a stun, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm actually going to be able to probably, yes, try to maneuver this Twin Blast into an area where I can pull him towards me and finish him off just like that. Now, will I be able to get away? I will. Very good flank there, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly what you want to do on Grux. He is almost like a... Oh, Clary did not actually go in on me. Probably should have. Let's see if we can pull her, and we can. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Able to secure those kills, get that card power, get that advantage that you very much need. As I was saying, Grux is kind of like a storm trooper, kind of like a storm fighter. He dives in with heavy amounts of damage and is fairly fragile, but does a massive amount of damage, kind of coming from the side, shocking the enemy team into death. So, ladies and gentlemen, 7 card power from that great engagement there in the mid lane, able to fully upgrade our Brawler's Ward, and now we are fully kitted out for being a very effective jungler. We are able to provide vision for our team, for any movement of the enemy team through the map. If we are able to do a good job, then we can really be very, very useful for our team. At this point, we're simply going to start up a rotation going through our harvesters, making sure that we are there for potential ganks on the enemy team, just like this Feng Mao, who's pretty close to our tower, and we should be able to kill him before he goes back. Let's see. If he isn't retreating now, then he has certainly sealed his own death. Yeah, exactly what you want to do, ladies and gentlemen, right there. And always taking a look at your mini-map, looking at where are the vulnerable enemy heroes, exactly what you want to do. Here is another victim, ladies and gentlemen, a Gideon that is pushed up a fair amount. We should be able to come in from behind here. You can see I'm going to use my ultimate for the stun, making sure that he can't use his teleport. And there you go. Able to really think of what the enemy is going to be able to do, using that half-a-second stun to be very effective, making sure that you're always thinking exactly what the enemy is going to be doing. Again, coming in from behind, going to use this pull on this Polari. I don't want her to go into stealth, because that is usually the combination that they do. They use their backflip into their stealth, and look at that, able to kill a double kill there. And even this Murdoch, if he's not careful, I do have my pull here. But we're going to use it and make sure that he can't get away. He might be able to nuke me, though. I don't want to get shot. There you go. So a very bad block by the enemy minions there. I should have maybe have gone back. 6 card power. able to get the very first card that's going to absolutely be very, very effective in increasing our damage here, Wind Carver Blade. Attack speed is Grux's best friend, as it really increases his attack speed immensely. He has a fairly quick attack speed, but we want to increase it the most. It will be what amplifies our damage the most. 3 card power, gonna get this major strike for 3 card points. Once you have created an advantage here, ladies and gentlemen, you should be able to stay in lane and push down a tower for a very fast tower kill. As you saw there, there is definitely a combination with Grux that really, really synergizes with all of his abilities. A Q on a minion wave or a group of heroes into a right click that applies a bleed is a very, very strong kind of initial attack that you can use to really do some good damage. So here's this Twin Blast. He is really stuck for Elf, and there we go. So might be able to save this Flurry, but not so much. I'm going to use my pull to get this Gideon, as you can see there. I'm going to wait for his teleport. I have my own charge here, and I don't have my pull. So it's trying... being very cautious of when you use your Q is going to be very important, as you can see there. If I had just waited for the Gideon to get out of his ultimate, I could have actually killed him there. So just being mindful of when exactly you are using your Q for maximum effect. So what I've done here is I've decided to destroy the enemy's Harvester here. I put a ward down right there to help me with vision to tell me if anybody is coming. This is a fairly aggressive, ballsy move, so it is okay if you do not feel safe doing this as a beginner. So I am being extra risky here, ladies and gentlemen, and getting the enemy's red camp. Now there is a red and blue camp in each jungle, one in each jungle, and the red orb is definitely much more effective on Grux. It gives you bonus damage on hit, so you basically just do more damage per swing, and you also get increased movement speed when you hit as well. So here is this Twin Blast. Let's see if we can nuke him down very quickly. Should be able to, yeah. So lots of damage there. This Murdoch, though, I'm quite scared of. He will be able to do a lot of damage, so I'm going to have to use my charge to get out of there. 9 card power, ladies and gentlemen. Very well done on our part for staying in these team fights and killing the enemy team. 9 power from all of that, able to finish off this card here with all of that attack speed. That will definitely be very, very effective. The next card we need is crit chance, so Spear of the Rift Runner here will give us that crit. It has all of this wound, so a lot of crit chance on this singular card here, going to be very effective in just increasing that damage that we do. Since we are going to be swinging faster, we are definitely going to want to be swinging harder, and that's what that crit is going to let us do. So, ladies and gentlemen, I should be able to secure the kill here on this Twin Blast. He has his ultimate. I'm going to use my ultimate here. Oh, not able to. Uses his Rocket Blast to get away nicely. So very, very, very close to securing the kill there, as you can see. Might be able to get him if he's not careful. Actually, you know what? Let's be a little bit ballsy here. Do our E into our pull. Not quite. Able to secure that tower kill there. Our Feng Mao is coming. Let's see if we can duel this Feng Mao. Okay, he decides that he can't duel us. So we're just going to continue our rotation here, grabbing these harvesters, grabbing some camps, making sure that we are moving in the direction of a possible gank that you just have to kind of anticipate here on the minimap. Always be looking across the field, across the battlefield on the minimap, trying to see where is a potential gank going to come, and make sure that you are right there when your team needs you. So here is one of those cases. I'm going to use my ultimate here to stun this Twin Blast, make sure that he can't get away, put this a bleed on him, do that extra damage, and he is just done for. Using my E to get out of here, that Kallari is going to be able to do quite a bit of health. Put my mana potion, and looks like I might be able to get away if she does not use her ultimate or her E. Trying to just secure those kills, coming in from the sides, being able to do that little bit of damage, and I might be able to actually sway. I didn't even need to use my pull there to stun her, make sure that she wasn't able to do any nuke kind of damage to us. Gonna get this Harvester real quick before we go back, spend these 6 card points. These 6, like I said, be very, very powerful here to finish off this Spear of the Riftrunner. Very nice. The next 3 card points we're going to spend, though, is going to be back to our primary stat here that's going to give us the most damage, Wind Carver Blade. Here is a little skirmish here between the Spengmau and Gideon and I. I am certainly outmatched, so I have to get that. Should be able to maybe use our Q here to make something happen with these heroes here, but this Twin Blast, oh, he picked the wrong time here to try to be sneaky, and there he goes. This Gideon, I'm going to actually charge forward here, right into his face. I'm going to keep my E for when he decides to teleport. There's a teleport. Oh, very poorly placed pull on my part, but that Gideon should die. There's the Kallari. Gonna have to stun her, make sure that she doesn't get too close to me, and there she goes, off into the shadows. So we're gonna have to be very careful here, and simply maybe get some white camps here before we go back. Spend these 4 card points already. 7 card points, ladies and gentlemen, able to get our next attack speed card, the Wind Carver Blade. This is going to be a big source of attack speed, and something I failed to mention, ladies and gentlemen, the first Wind Carver Blade you want to get is the one with 2 2-point kinetic upgrades. It simply gives us the most attack speed out of either of these. As you can see, this one is different as it has 2 2-point strike cards. Very important, as you want the most attack speed there in the early game to try to give you as much damage as possible, as quick as possible. So, ladies and gentlemen, 6 card points. We're able to finish off this Wind Carver Blade. The next card is one that is very, very important here. We're going to get the Amulet of the Veteran. Now, all damage builds has been nerfed, so we need to focus a little bit more on staying balanced. We need that damage, but we also need that health. This Amulet of the Veteran is going to do that with that 100 increased health. It's a little early for us to replace this Brawler's Key with a card because the enemy still has some Harvesters that we would like to take. So I'm going to do something and replace our health potion. The 100 health is going to be quite nice, and especially once we upgraded, we'll be able to have 800 more health as well. It would really help us stay in these engagements and be in these team fights that are going to happen more frequently here in the late game. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I have to cut the guide short, but we can at least discuss the cards. So here's the Amulet of the Veteran. You get this and fully upgraded with this health. This really helps here in the late game deal with all of that damage that the carries and the Rangers are really going to start doing. Very important that we get this health. The next card is up to your discretion. Now, we can get the Blade of Agor and the Adamant's Edge. Both of them, if we don't want the Brawler's Ward and we don't need the Brawler's Key. You can certainly replace these 2 cards with both of these for a crazy amount of damage and just a little bit of health here on this Adamant's Edge. What I would recommend is only replacing your Brawler's Key, especially as a jungler, you're going to be, trying to go through the jungle here and placing those wards. If somebody else is keeping their ward, please feel free to get the Adam's Edge and the Blade of Agora to really have a very, very, very strong damage output. That is the build, ladies and gentlemen. Starting off with the Brawler's Key, since we were the Harvester, or the Jungler, getting the Brawler's Ward for that very important vision, using it to ward off the jungle and ward off the lanes, to provide that vision for our team. Going into this Windcarver Blade with a two-point kinetic upgrades for that very important attack speed that skyrockets Grux damage. Next thing is this Spear of the Rift Runner for that very important crit. It's going to just, again, skyrocket our damage. It very much amplifies, because you are attacking so much more, 1 in every 4 hits is going to be a crit. Very good boost to damage. This next Windcarver Blade here is going to be a good source of attack speed, as you can see, but even more damage. Finishing this off with the Amulet of Veteran for that health. It'll keep you in those engagements even more in the late game. Next is the discretionary cards as Adamant Edge and Blade of Agora. At some point, you will definitely not necessarily need these keys anymore, so you can definitely replace it with an Adamant's Edge for a little bit of health, or this Blade of Agora that'll increase your crit bonus when you crit a lot. This Adamant's Edge I would recommend over the Blade of Agora, but again, if you feel it is necessary to replace both of these cards, replace it with these to be very, very strong. There's a bit, ladies and gentlemen. Please let me know down in the comments if you found this useful, if you found this starters approach to be very effective. Please like the video if you like it, dislike if you dislike it. Please share it with the community and do all that social media stuff that you will see very soon. Please subscribe, as I want to make sure to help you in the future as much as possible. Until next time, like always, take care.